Welcome back, guys. Grab you a cup, have a seat, get comfortable, because I want to show you something. Now, as the name of the title implies, this is going to be about my ultimate armed prepared citizen AR-15. Now, we have to put ultimate in the title because, you know, just calling it ultimate makes everything 100 times better. That's just a given, right? Automatic. Have to call it ultimate. Yeah. Anyway, I've been wanting to show you guys this for a long time. I teased about it some months back, and it's literally taken me this long to get it together because I had a couple of good friends contribute some items to it, but I also had to save up some money, had to sell a few things to get some money, had to do a little bit of horse trading and bartering and that sort of thing to get some things. So it's just taken a while to put it all together. Because again, unlike some places, I don't have tons of places just sending me stuff. I have a few places that will occasionally send me something, and that's great. I dearly appreciate them. However, I can count those places pretty much on one hand with fingers left over. So, I digress. Let's get into it, right? I'll show you the build. Here it is. Okay? Now, let's go over the whole gun first, and then we'll get into a little bit of why and wherefores and all that, right? So, let's start with the upper and work our way down, right? So this is a Palmetto State Armory upper that has one of their 14.7 inch hammer forged chrome line barrels that are made for them by FN. Having 14.7 inches, it's got a pinned and welded, permanently attached A2 flash suppressor. Their upper, bolt carrier group, etc. The Handguard is a Midwest Industries SLH handguard. Now, this came with, and I'm a bad video maker because I forgot and left the original handguard sitting over yonder somewhere. I'm not going to bother getting up to go get it. You'll just have to trust me. It came with one of their handguards on it. It's a great handguard, right? But this build is meant to be, and I got to go ahead and jump into a little bit here, so let's pause on the overview and let me get into a couple of things. I wanted this build to be me putting together some specific parts and pieces that I wanted to make the gun just exactly what I wanted it to be. So, like, I've got quite a few free float M-LOK handguards on my Palmetto State rifles. They all work great. The quality is great. Everything about them's perfectly functional and fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm checking something over there every once in a while. So, but because I wanted the gun to be exactly what I wanted it to be, I wanted this Midwest Industries SLH handguard on there. I've got a couple of other SLH handguards from Midwest that I've bought, and I've been using those for a couple years, and I love them. They are hands down my favorite free floated M-LOK handguard. Everybody's got their own preference. These are mine. They offer me the perfect balance between weight, functionability. Yeah. Hold on a second. Y'all know the deal. We start stumbling, we got to caffeinate. Perfect bit of functionality insofar as the size, the weight, what I'm getting, what I'm going to be doing with it, etc. So I put the SLH handguard on here. Now, point of note, in order to do that, you have to remove the flash suppressor, because you can't get the gas block off to get the barrel nut off unless you remove the flash suppressor. So, I meticulously took the time to properly drill out and grind away the weld over the pin. Took the pin out, took the flash suppressor off, changed when I needed to change, put the flash suppressor back on, put the pin back in, and then re-welded it and refinished it and all that. So it's back pinned and welded just like it was to start with. I just had to do all that in order to accomplish this, but it is back pinned and welded, just in case anybody's wondering. You will have to go through that if you want to mimic this. Now, if you don't want to mimic this, and you absolutely do not have to, because I will reiterate again, the free float M-LOK Palmetto State Armory handguards, and there's two different versions, are 100% good to go in my experience and my book. I get my full blessing and recommendation. In fact, in a second, I'm going to show you a couple of those. Moving on. This is a Palmetto State Armory blemish lower that I bought. Couldn't pass it up. It was a great deal. It was cheap, and I have yet to find the blem on it, so I don't know where the blemish is at. Everything functions right, and it's not a physical blemish, or else they wouldn't sell it. They only sell it as a cosmetic blemish, and I can't find the cosmetic blemish on it. And even if I could find it, it ain't gonna matter, because once it gets its clothes on and set up for actual real use, whatever cosmetic blemishes there will be covered up anyway. So don't hesitate to buy cosmetic blem lower, guys. You need to be friggin' putting spray paint and whatever your favorite coating color is on there anyway. So I digress. We'll get into our tangent there, and we'll head off into the weeds. So let's get back on the path. Plain old simple Magpul M-Bus front and rear sights. They are not my primary sighting source on this. They are strictly emergency. Oh my God. And honestly, I don't even ever expect to use them, even in an emergency, because my optic on here is the Primary Arms Gen 2 1X Cyclops. Etched reticle, always there, don't have to worry about it. Anything that damages this so that it is where I cannot see the reticle and it is non-functional is almost 95+% guaranteed that either the rifle's going to be damaged beyond function or I'm going to be damaged beyond function. So I honestly don't ever expect to use the iron sights on there, but I put them on there just in case, right? Moving on. On the lower, I've got just regular Magpul, I think this is the SLK grip. Yeah, I think it's the SLK grip. I'm almost certain that's it. All I know is it's this one because I like this one. It fits Ma's hand good. I have it on most all of my rifles. On the trigger guard, I'm a big fan of the polymer Magpul trigger guards, right? They work great. I love them. I've got them on, I think, all my guns. On this one though, again, because I wanted to put it together just exactly like what I wanted, and when I was in the middle of putting it together, lo and behold, Midwest Industries came out with their own polymer trigger guard. So I hopped on and ordered one. I got it, I like it, and I like it a lot. It's very similar to the Magpul. However, right here, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, let me look at it. See right here? This is a little steeper down and the curve's a little further forward than what a Magpul one is. So a Magpul one's more tapered. This has got a little bit more deeper angle right there. And what I found from playing with this, for my hands, again, my hands, yours may be different, I can get a really good high grip, which is natural for me, and this finger right here is not rubbing at all. It is absolutely comfortable. Now, my Magpul ones work great for that. This one works even better. I highly recommend this one. The Midwest Industries one is the ticket. I do like it. Nothing wrong with the Magpuls. I'll keep using the ones I got. But this is the go-to right here, right? Moving back, Magpul SL stock. I like these. They're simple. They're low profile. They work. I don't need anything crazy and fancy going on back here. It is what it is. Standard, receiver extension, castle nut, yada yada. Nothing fancy anywhere there. Back to the Handguard real quick. These are the regular Magpul Type 2. I forget. M-lock covers that just pop into place. I like these because they do a good job of giving me a good purchase and grip on the forearm and protecting your hands from the heat when the forearm gets hot. If you do a lot of shooting, it's going to happen. The only thing on this gun that I didn't get to do exactly like what I wanted was right here for this little Picatinny section. Now the Picatinny section is for this. Now, go back and watching my other videos, you know I like to be able to take my light on and off. I don't just leave a light on the gun all the time. It's situationally dependent for me. Because of my area and my particular situation, what I'm doing, lots of times, probably more often than not, I don't want a light on my gun. I know that sounds counterintuitive to everything that all the YouTube experts have told you, but it's a thing, okay? There's lots of reasons. We won't get into them in this video because we will again get off into the weeds and not stay on the path that we need to be on. Anyway, I normally like to have my pick section for my light at the 12 o'clock position. I like it to be right down here. It's the way I run it, the way it works for me. However, as just coincidence would be coincidence, right where this M-lock section and this M-lock section meet up is exactly where the gas block and the set screws for the gas block are at. And when you try to put little Picatinny section on right there, the screws and the M-lock lock plates actually hit the set screws and the bottom of the gas block. Even filing down one of the screws short wouldn't work because the M-lock lock plate itself that rotates into position was still hitting the set screws. It was just that weird thing of that's where it just lined up at, right? So the only way to get around that was to move it around here to the side to the 9 o'clock position, which again, it's not my preferred position, but I can live with it, right? It's not the end of the world. I can still put the light on right here. If I can get it locked in, I didn't realize I had it loose. All right, I can get it on there, and then I can still hit it with that thumb. I normally like to use this knuckle just because of the way I'm used to doing it, but the thumb will work, right? I just don't like having it on the side. It's just me, but it still works. It's fine. It's doable. We can live with that. Because again, normally I don't have it on there. What else? Oh, I still had to trim the rear screw right here just so it wouldn't hit the gas block in there because you don't want anything touching the barrel and the gas block. So I got a good gap in there now. It's not touching. Screws cut down. This still has more than enough to lock on and screw down tight. So it's all good. Just a point of note if you're going to do that. I think that's about it. So now we need to move in to little bit more in depth of the whys and wherefores and whatnot. Because there's one other part to this gun that I wanted to make you guys aware of. So let me start with this. This is not my first one of these uppers and barrels. I actually have two other ones. I have this one, which has a primary arms 2X on it, okay? And then I have, you stay, don't go nowhere, this one, which has a primary arms 1-6 on. Both of these guns wear Palmetto State Armory handguards. They're free float M-LOK handguards, right? These are outstanding handguards that work marvelously. There is nothing wrong with them. I love them. That's why they're on there, because there's no reason for me to replace them. Both of those guns are ridiculously accurate, okay? There is like, if I can see it with either one of those, I can hit it. So why would I want a third one of the exact same barreled upper? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. I'd have told you even if you didn't ask. So, I mean, because it's my channel, right? I need my warming plate over here because my coffee's getting cooled off. So, I have plans for those two rifles. Plans that we're not going to get into on here. But I like those barrels and those setups from PSA enough that I wanted to switch it over and have one of them as my primary go-to rifle. If I've got to head out the door and can only grab one rifle, this will be it. And I wanted to set it up like that, right? Now, yes, I could get away with some of what I'm talking about, or fixing to talk about, with either one of those. The 1-6, obviously, I've got the capability of 1 power. I've got the capability of 6 power. Downside is it's obviously a little bit bigger, bulkier, and heavier. The 2X is more compact, but it's a fixed 2X. Works great, no problems with it. I can run it, be perfectly happy. But I wanted a little bit more versatility in between what the two of those were giving me. And again, I've got other specific plans for those two guns. My long-time go-to gun has been an older 16-inch PSA gun. It's a chrome-lined mid-weight barrel that PSA was doing back in 2012. Yeah, back in 2012, they had some mid-weight barrels that they were doing that were just phenomenal. And that's long been my primary go-to. I wanted to switch to these 14.7s though, because while with the permanently attached flash suppressor, you still got an overall 16-inch barrel, so they're not that much shorter than a standard 16-inch barrel with a flash suppressor. Believe it or not, that little bit makes a difference for me. It starts adding up, right? Because you've got a little bit shorter barrel, you've got a little bit less material, you've got a little bit less handguard, etc., etc. And it all makes a difference. These are ridiculously handy, light, balanced guns. They run really well. And by run, I mean their handling, maneuverability, coming up on target, carrying it around all day, etc. For my terrain, that 1X Cyclops does everything I really need a general purpose optic to do. However, occasionally we may have that spot where you can reach out 200, 250 yards, 300 yards, maybe, not often, but maybe. And I might want the capability to be a little bit more accurate at further distance. Well, this Cyclops I put in an ADM mount. What this gives me the ability to do, being a throw lever mount, I can zero that, take it off, and I also put the new 3X, which I know everybody keeps asking me about it. No, I don't know when Primary Arms is going to have these out. They don't tell me that kind of information. I'm going to keep pestering to see if I can find out, but I don't know any more than you do. All I know is I also put the 3X compact in an ADM mount so I can zero this. And what this gives me the capability of doing is running the Cyclops on there and keeping this in a pouch on my gear, my pack, whatever. And in a pinch, if I find myself in a situation, oh, you know what, I want to observe something that's out there a little ways and I need a little bit of magnification. Somebody's behind cover 200 or 300 yards away and I want to be able to make a little bit more precise shot. It takes just a matter of a second to pop that throw lever, drop that off, pop this on, and as long as they still are minute a man, which there's no reason why they shouldn't be, minute a man. Y'all know me and minute a man, so don't start with all the minute a man. This lets me run these two optics on this same gun very easily. It gives me a lot of versatility without a lot of bulk. Now, yes, I could put like the 2X in a throw lever mount and do the same thing. But again, I have a specific use for that gun and I wanted the 3X for my, if I can only grab one and head out the door gun. This gives me my 1X, my 3X, they're both on throw levers, it's nice and compact, do what I need to do, swap it out as I need to, as the mission dictates. So that's really it, guys. This is kind of me putting together everything I want on the gun, right? And the Midwest Industries rail, the Midwest trigger guard, all of that, those were specific things that I wanted on this gun because I like them that much, I believe in them that much. Again, not to say the others are bad, it's just what I wanted. Now, I know some of you will ask, why did I go with ADM mounts? I love Midwest Industries mounts. I love ADM mounts. I like them both probably equal. Truth be told, if I'm perfectly honest, I actually looked for the Midwest mounts first, simply because I was wanting to get the Handguard already. So I was just going to get it all at one time. Midwest was completely out of mini ACOG throw lever mounts and weren't sure when they'd have any back in. I didn't want to wait. I wanted to get this gun put together. So I went ahead and jumped on the ADM mounts. Again, nothing wrong with those. If I could have kept it all Midwest, I would have. It's 50-50, right? As luck would have it, I was just looking the other day, and guess what Midwest has got back in stock? Mini ACOG mounts. I still want to get a couple, because I'll probably swap out a couple other things for some of their mounts, but again, another video for another time. So, part one. Part two, what's part two going to be? Well, part two is going to be where we take it out to the range, we get everything zeroed, we function check it, and get some rounds through it, kind of break her in a little bit, knock the dust off. Not that there's a break-in or anything on this. I just like to get everything flowing and smoothing and get all the rough edges inside starting to wear in a little bit on the trigger, on the bolt carrier group. Jeez, I'm just stumbling today, guys. Which, by the way, lower parts kit is one that a friend sent me. Thank you very much to you. You know who you are. and I don't remember what brand it was. I've got the box somewhere, but anyway. And the trigger is actually a Palmetto State EPT trigger. I'm a big fan of the EPT triggers. I like them. I've bought a couple of them. In fact, I think I've got a couple of them that I've bought and put back just for spares for down the road. So next video, we will get it out to the range. We will get it zeroed. Maybe show you a little accuracy with it, what it's capable of, and go from there. Zombie apocalypse, Terminators take over the Death Star, what have you. I have no reason to suspect that this won't be my primary go-to gun. Unless I get out to the range and it just doesn't function or can't hit the broadside of a barn, which I have no reason to suspect it won't, because my other two barrels and uppers like this are right there. This is it. I know this is kind of a long one, guys. I don't apologize for it. It's my video. Make it the way I want to, right? If you got any questions, put them down. I'll try to answer them as best I can. I will put links to the upper and whatnot over at the blog. There will be a link to the blog down in the description box, because I can't risk offending the overlord sensibilities, which I don't really care about that, but I care about you guys being able to get the links. So I'd rather just, you know what's more important, that you get the links right now. So link to the blog in the description, link at the blog to parts. I think that's it, guys. Stay safe, guys. Keep training. Keep getting ready. And I'll see you in another one.